Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. Today's rundown is going out to Nathan Koala, who says we have the best sourced info on YouTube. Thank you so much, Nathan. This rundown is all yours. What is it with Tom Hardy doing goofy voices in all of his movies? The first teaser trailer for the new Venom movie has arrived, giving audiences their first look at Tom Hardy as the villainous Marvel symbiote. This is just a teaser trailer, so it doesn't give too much away, but we do know that Hardy is playing the Eddie Brock version of the character, complete with what sounds like his latest attempt at an American accent.
We all have our own problems, our own issues.
At least it's better than the Bane voice.
Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you.
The story in the new movie is based on the 90s comic series Venom Lethal Protector, where Venom was less of a villain and more of an anti-hero. That story also saw him join forces with his adversary Spider-Man, although the heroic web-slinger isn't expected to appear in this film, given that it takes place in its own cinematic universe, separate from last year's Spider-Man Homecoming. Confusing, we know. Give us your thoughts on what you've seen so far in the comments below. Venom will ooze into theaters on October 5th. Disney has a few more ways to force people's interest in their upcoming streaming platform. They're working on not one, but several different Star Wars TV shows for their upcoming streaming service. Disney first announced that they were working on their own streaming platform last year, saying that it would debut with an exclusive live-action Star Wars show. Now, speaking with investors, Disney CEO Bob Iger says that they're actually working on a few different shows, all of which are being made specifically for the platform. He didn't provide any other details, but does say that they'll be able to reveal at least one of the new shows soon. It's no surprise that Disney wants several different Star Wars shows to air simultaneously. They're already doing the same thing with the Marvel Universe, so apparently they think that the Star Wars galaxy has just as many potential stories to tell.
Good. Our first catch of the day.
It's unclear how many of the new shows will be live action or animated. The current animated series, Star Wars Rebels, is about to come to an end, so a follow-up from the same creative team would help win over a lot of fans. Having access to the entire Disney back catalog would also be a tempting offer and makes it that much easier for Disney to win the battle against rivals like Netflix and Amazon.
Don't make me destroy you.
The new Disney streaming service will launch next year.
Watch this.
And speaking of streaming platforms, game systems might be a thing of the past if Google has anything to say about it. The tech giant is rumored to be working on its own game streaming service similar to PlayStation Now from rival Sony. No official announcements have been made, but tech website The Information reports that Google's team has already begun working on the new service, which will allow users to access an entire library of games for a flat monthly subscription fee. Google is already halfway there because their Chromecast platform is used to stream movies and TV shows, so video games would be an obvious next step. Game streaming without any physical media or powerful hardware makes a lot of sense now that internet speeds are getting faster and faster, and with the rising cost of high-end gaming PCs, it will be a lot cheaper for consumers, thanks to the fact that all the number crunching would be done from an external Google server. We'll let you know if it happens. Apart from PlayStation Now and the PS4, Microsoft is working on a game streaming service for the Xbox One and PC, expected to launch in the next few years. The makers of Life is Strange are finally going to release their next game, and it totally sucks. In a good way. Don't Nod Entertainment has announced that their long-awaited blood-sucking game, Vampyr, will launch worldwide on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One on June 5th. This has been a long time coming. Vampyr was first announced at E3 2015 and has been pushed back several times as the developers work out the game mechanics and design. The game takes place in London during the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, with players taking the role of a doctor who becomes a vampire, forcing him to suck the blood of others in order to survive. The thing that makes this game unique is that players will be able to investigate potential victims and pick and choose whose blood they suck, so if you want, you can choose to take the life of those who deserve it. Think of it as Dexter meets Dracula. Like Don't Nod's previous game, Life is Strange, there will also be a branching narrative with your choices impacting how things unfold. We'll have more on Vampyr as June 5th approaches. Don't Nod is also working on a sequel to Life is Strange, but it doesn't have a release window yet. Another country is taking on loot boxes and in-game microtransactions. With all the controversy surrounding loot boxes, thanks to the release of Star Wars Battlefront 2, Sweden might be the next country to take them on. Speaking with Sweden's Sveriges Radio, the country's Minister for Public Administration, Ardalan Shekarabi, says that they're taking a closer look at loot boxes and whether they need to change the law to have them classified as a form of gambling. This would make it impossible for publishers to market or sell games with loot boxes to children. Shekarabi adds that gambling and gambling addiction are serious problems, so he wants to make sure that consumer protection laws laws protect the victims. Banning loot boxes in Sweden would be a particularly personal blow to Battlefront 2, given that the game's developer DICE is based in Sweden. Several other governments are already looking at the matter with varying results. The UK government and American regulators have already decided that loot boxes aren't gambling due to the fact that you can't cash out and exchange your winnings for real-life money. However, state lawmakers in Hawaii have vowed to outlaw loot boxes this year, with Representative Chris Lee calling Battlefront 2 in particular a Star Wars-themed online casino that uses predatory tactics to manipulate children. Ouch! We haven't heard the last of the loot box war. As more and more publishers begin using loot boxes and microtransactions, this issue won't be going away anytime soon. That wraps us up for today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, we have a brand new episode for you tomorrow, and we've also got tons of other cool content for you to check out. If you do check it out and you dig it, don't forget to hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, that sponsorship button too.